Yo, check it out, I gotta speak the truth about the hardest working small channel.
Bitcoin seems to be stalling. It's kind of stuck at the same range and it's trading sideways. We'd expect a big breakout upwards or maybe a dump downwards to reclaim the lows and then get back on track and give everybody else a chance to buy back in at lower prices. But so far, Bitcoin's not doing a lot. Over the past couple of days, it's just been kind of hovering above the same range. So what's going to happen? Let's have a quick look at what people are saying, what the media is saying, what the markets are saying. Welcome back to the Crypto Father channel. Today is the 9th of December. Make sure to smash up the like, subscribe to the channel, and let's get going. First of all, let's look at the market. $3.8 trillion in market cap, which is 100 billion more than it was last week. $200 billion in trading volume. Bitcoin is back at 100,000. I thought it might dump. I thought we would see a massive dump post the weekend, but it managed to maintain the price at 100,000. Ethereum retraced a little bit, and by the look of it, a lot more money is flowing in, so maybe that's what's propping it. But be cautious, because you never know which way the prices are going to go. Ethereum is at $3,900, XRP $2.57, Solana $2.35. Solana is not doing too great. BNB all the way up to $740. That's pretty sweet. Cardano is maintaining its level at $1.20 for now, at least. Toncoin at $6.75. Polkadot is finally beginning to move slightly. Shout out to all the Polkadot dotters, Polk dotters. And Litecoin is at $133. Well, for all of you out here who have been following me since the beginning or for a while, you know that I am in on Meowcoin, have been mining it, and I did make a lot of videos for Meowcoin. And Meowcoin's doing quite well right now. We've got a 27% pump on the past 24 hours, so that's good. On the 1-year chart, we're still ways down, but over the past 3 months, we've seen a bit of growth. So the market cap went up to $800,000, which is good to see, as well as the trading volume, $11,900. Bitcoin's just teetering around this $100,000 range. Volume, in terms of volume, there isn't much volume on these two trades. That's why these 2 days, that's why the candles are looking pretty slim. So we could either have a breakout upwards or downwards, obviously, but I'd be very cautious with these small candles. It's hard to say. We've got this is one thing that concerns me, this massive dump that occurred on the markets. This happened at the same time as the Korean president staged a coup or whatever the heck it was. The Korean president is missing in action right now, but in any case, this was around the same time as the massive dump on the Korean markets, which drove Bitcoin down to $88 million, which is about, I guess, $85,000 or $80,000, which is insane. That's a huge dip. Over here, Bitcoin dipped all the way down to 90,000, and so that was a massive spike in sales. And now the following recovery candle was a little bit thicker, but the volume on it was not that big. And the past 2 days, including Sunday and Monday, the volume on these candles is pretty small, and Bitcoin hasn't moved much. So I have secured some profits, and I would suggest secure some profits just in case, because if Bitcoin does dump, then you'll have a chance to buy back in at lower prices. And of course, I'm not saying sell all of your Bitcoin or sell all of your crypto, because if it does pump, then you can still take some profits, but there will be a retracement coming. Bitcoin dominance continues to fall. There's quite a bit of sell pressure on the volume side, a little bit of buy volume on today, on Monday, but overall Bitcoin has been seeing a decline in dominance. The Bitcoin archive says that Bitcoin cycle is remarkably similar to 2020, 2021 in both returns and days since the bottom. Bitcoin did a 3x from this point to hit 64K last time, so from here on out 3x would be 300,000. So prediction is that we might see a $300,000 Bitcoin So this is the chart from, this is the price range from 2020 and right now. And so I guess we still have a leg up. According to this analysis, key Bitcoin stakeholders unload over $8.5 billion worth of Bitcoin in just 48 hours, says analytics firm Sentiment. Sentiment says on the social media platform X that Bitcoin miners offloaded over 8.55 billion worth of Bitcoin in just 2 days, representing the largest distribution of the last 2 months. The reason for this is obvious. Miners have been, I guess, struggling. There was the halving, which occurred, which basically sliced their income in half. Bitcoin has seen a bit of retracement, and they're simply recouping their trade. So unless, I mean, if they're selling it, somebody else is buying it. Obviously, for every sale, there's got to be a buy. Otherwise, that's how it works. But so not to fear. Doesn't matter that they're selling, somebody's buying. But this could drag the price down somewhat. While Bitcoin miners are heavily unloading their Bitcoin stacks, Sentiment notes that other deep pocket investors are picking up the slack. Bitcoin's collective mining balances have been dropping since April 2024, and that's clearly due to the fact that we have witnessed a halving, and so there's half as much Bitcoin being produced. This analyst says Bitcoin could reach 200,000 by the end of 2025. And again, when you see these prices, so we've got 300,000 now, it's 200,000. When you see these prices, they are all predictions for the long run, 2025. We're going to see retracements before then, so expect, you know, pullbacks of 30-40% pullbacks on Bitcoin and other assets, and more so on altcoins, because when Bitcoin pulls back, when Bitcoin dumps, altcoins have a massive sale at that very time. Every time Bitcoin pulls back, altcoins dump massively. Standard Chartered's global head of digital asset research, Jeff Kendrick, says that Bitcoin value could surge to 200,000 by the end of 2025. These investors are increasingly drawn towards the ETFs, while MicroStrategy, a firm with a focus on Bitcoin development, has been rapidly acquiring the assets. And of course, there are BlackRocks and other VCs who continue to acquire. There's rumors of people, Apple shareholders or Amazon shareholders. I'm going to get into that article in a second, talking requesting Amazon to put some Bitcoin on its balance sheet. He also suggests that the regulatory changes under President-elect Donald Trump could potentially amplify these flows. This could be something, this could be the driver that will push Bitcoin down, Bitcoin prices down somewhat. The majority of Americans say inflation will make Santa less generous, this holiday survey says. So I could see people taking out money to either spend on holidays or putting it into Bitcoin in order to avoid inflation. Either or. A new survey suggests Americans are having a tougher time than usual buying gifts this holiday season. In its new holiday shopping survey, Wallet Hub surveyed 210 individuals and then normalized the results by age, gender, and income to accurately reflect US demographics. 210 individuals is not a lot. That's not a very big survey. The results paint a relatively bleak picture of the American consumer. According to the survey, 68% of people say Santa will be less generous this year due to inflation, and 31% say they'll spend less on holiday shopping this year than in 2023. Nearly half still have debt from last year's holiday season, and 52% of people will apply for a new credit card in order to do their holiday shopping. So we could see a bit more offloading of things like stocks and assets in order to supplement the expenses necessary to make the holiday season a jolly one. US Treasury unveils Russian crypto money laundering scheme to bypass sanctions. Whoa. The US Treasury Department Office of Foreign Assets Control has imposed sanctions on several individuals and entities tied to a Russian money laundering operation that utilized Tether and other cryptocurrencies for illicit transactions. This move, coordinated with the United Kingdom and Arab Emirates, aims to disrupt the network's operations. The sanctioned individuals and groups are linked to the TGR group, allegedly run by Ukrainian national George Rossi. The group is said to have provided services like cash to crypto exchanges, prepaid card solutions, and support for Russian nationals looking to purchase property in the UK. OFAC has targeted 5 individuals and 4 entities connected to these illicit activities. Stories like these are what the anti-crypto people are drawing on. I mean, these things happen, and more so in fiat, obviously. But when it comes to crypto, crypto makes the perfect villain because it's the new thing on the block. It's here to unrest the status quo of fiat currencies, and of course that of the banks being in charge of all the fiat currencies. And so things like that, and especially when you throw in the fact that Russians are behind it, that kind of stirs a lot of emotions in a lot of people's minds, and turns crypto and Bitcoin into a villain once again. One key component of network's operations was Garantex OU, a Russian crypto exchange already sanctioned by OFAC. Garantex was accused of processing USDT transactions, including those related to Hydra, a notorious online criminal marketplace. Additionally, TGR Group's operations extending to Wyoming, where Pullman Global Solutions LLC, partially owned by Latvian national Andrei Bradens, was reportedly involved. Man, these stories are something else. Former New York Fed president says strategic Bitcoin reserves would drive up inflation and government debt. So that's not a good look. A few weeks ago, there was I don't know who she was, a government official in the States, a US government official saying or proposing that the US government should use some of its gold reserves to sell some of its gold reserves and purchase Bitcoin with the proceeds. Now, a former Fed president is warning that the proposed Bitcoin strategic reserve concept won't yield any positive benefits for the American people. Bill Dudley, former president of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and ex-vice chair of the Federal Open Market Committee, says that in a new opinion piece on Bloomberg that the incoming Trump administration's proposal for a BTC-backed reserve has zero positives. His stance is, what benefits does establishing a Bitcoin reserve have for the government or those who do not hold Bitcoin? There is no exit strategy, so its purpose is to drive up inflation rather than create value for the government. The government would be forced to hold a volatile token that generates no revenue. To provide the funds for purchases, the key treasury must either borrow, thus increasing debt of the service cost, or the Federal Reserve must create money, thus exacerbating inflation. The latter is almost indistinguishable from the Federal Reserve monetizing U.S. government debt. Similarly, directing the Federal Reserve to utilize government's gold reserves passed on congressional legislative proposal would also be the case. The former Fed boss says that if the Trump administration really wants to support Bitcoin and the crypto industry, it should establish laws and regulations that allow it to develop and operate safely. And he brings back the argument on whether tokens are currencies or securities. And in his view, Dudley says that the government should work to define whether tokens are currency and securities, and establish rules to protect consumers and prohibit their use for activities such as financing terrorism or selling illegal drugs. And again, this is like an old dinosaur type spiel. It's the same talk that is used in order to discredit crypto and Bitcoin, disregarding completely, entirely that fiat has been used for these very purposes, for these very same purposes, for generations, basically since its inception. That's what fiat has been used for. You know, these points are made by people who have been in the office for too long, I think, who are just too old to understand what the digital cryptocurrency market is and what digital currencies are, I think, and they just presume that it's only that it's used for only these things because they can't see past their own noses. And Bitcoin Archive, once again, breaking Amazon shareholders request the company explores adds Bitcoin to its treasury. First Microsoft, now Amazon. Now I'm wondering, what would Amazon, the goal of Microsoft is to become the first and quite possibly the only Bitcoin bank in the world. And so that's their aim. But Amazon, what would be the purpose of Amazon stacking up Bitcoin? I guess to raise its value and then, you know, sell it later for profits. Maybe that could be good. But Apple is next. Shareholders request that the board conduct an assessment to determine if adding Bitcoin to the company's treasury is in the best long-term interest of shareholders. And El Salvador just recently announced that they've discovered new mines of gold and a bunch of other minerals, apparently, that may be pushing El Salvador to the forefront of the economic world. El Salvador's Bitcoin journey has reached new heights, with President Nayib Bukele recently spotlighting the nation's substantial unrealized profits after Bitcoin surged past $100,000. So Bukele announced that El Salvador had purchased Bitcoin for about $270 million, and now it is worth about $333 million, which is never a bad price tag. El Salvador was the first nation to make Bitcoin a recognized currency through its Bitcoin law in September of 2021, and they made a purchase of 200 Bitcoin a day, and they've been purchasing Bitcoin every day on a daily basis since then. And today, the country's holding stand at about 6,180 Bitcoin, acquired at an average price of $44,000, which is pretty good price tag. And beyond financial gains, Bitcoin adoption has reported boosted El Salvador's tourism sector. However, this bold embrace of cryptocurrency has not come without pushback. The International Monetary Fund has repeatedly urged the country to reconsider its Bitcoin policies, citing risk to economic stability. Of course they would, because the International Monetary Fund is a bank that basically loans money at interest, which it then collects, and it's just a leg of the Federal Reserve. That's what I mean exactly. The hegemony of the international banks is still there, and so they fear presence of the cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, because so they're willing to do anything to smudge it with illegal activities and talk of, you know, drugs used for drug purposes, purchasing drugs. So this is where we are with Bitcoin right now. It's at $100,000 again, $100,025 to be exact. It's teetering on the brink. It looks like on the chart money is flowing back in. Actually, no, it's not flowing back in. It's been flowing in for a while now, and maybe it's time for it to begin to flow out. Money flow here at the bottom. Money flow has been steadily going up. We've got a bit of a dip here, so we could possibly see a retracement on Bitcoin as money flows out. And it hasn't been pushing for the past couple of days. It hasn't been pumping anywhere. It's just kind of teetering here at 100,000. And if it doesn't make up its mind anytime soon, we're going to see more profit taking, and I think Bitcoin's going to tank. I don't know how fast, or I don't know how deep, but if we do see a massive dump down to around 70,000, 73, I still believe that this is going to happen, because this is a lot of open space here that needs to be reclaimed, I think, because we've just gone up since about $73,000. It was just up. We had some candles that went down here, but essentially this was like, look at this, all this green stuff here. So all of this needs to be reclaimed. So I could see Bitcoin dropping back down to around $73,000 over the next, who knows, couple of months. We could have a red January, quite possibly. So be prepared, take some profits, and use them to buy some Christmas presents. Also, if you are doing that, if you are purchasing Christmas presents, pick up at the Cent wallet. I'm happy to see that some people are getting on the sale. The Cent is having right now a massive sale, 47% off on the purchase of 2 of these biometric wallets. Plus, you get a chance to enter the draw, and the airdrop rather, for the cryptocurrencies, about $50 worth of crypto that will be airdropped into your wallet. Countdown to the final coin reveal, 15 days. There's going to be, so there's CTC, BBB, IOEB, XAH, FIG, and there's one more coin. It's going to be revealed. No idea what it is, but about $50 worth. So you could get yourself a nice discount, a nice bonus on top of everything else that they're offering. And plus, obviously, you get a wicked wallet, the only biometric wallet that has a display. Also, the price here is $99. If you follow the Crypto Father ref link below the video, we get an additional $10 off. These prices are for online prices. If you follow the ref link, you get an additional $10 off on these beautiful wallets. So do that now, and share the love with people who need a biometric crypto wallet, only one of its kind. Please remember to share, like, subscribe, and of course come back tomorrow for another video. Peace.